What's up guys, I'm Newbie Dave and today, hopefully, we are finishing the farm. Let's get started. What's going on everybody? How's your day going? Now I should use the term finish lightly because, are you ever really finished with a build in Minecraft? I'm sure that after today's episode, at some point in the future I'm going to come back and keep tweaking and modifying and adding to this build. But yeah, it is time to finally finish off the rest of this farm, this agriculture district, and I am really excited about it. Now, before I jump into it, if you watched my previous episode, you saw my embarrassing and untimely death in the Nether, and I only have 4 levels. I think I had like 150 or 160 levels, and that was really sad. So I'm going to come over here to my XP farm and get some of those levels back. Not necessarily because I need them, because I don't really need levels other than... And I don't really enchant anything anymore since I've got my villager trading hall with most of the enchantments that I want or need. Most of my levels really go towards like naming things, I guess. But really I just want to show you how much XP I've got banked up in this thing, because I come over here and harvest this farm and smelt up kelp pretty much as often as I can. And so level 4, let me get 1 pull out of this, and I am level 40, just like that. So there we go. After 8 pulls up to level 89, that's more than enough. I love this farm, you guys. The XP is so good. I've got tons and tons of dried kelp, which I've been using to smelt pretty much everything. I use dried kelp blocks in my gold farm to smelt up all the gold swords. I use it in my super smelters when I'm not using lava. It's just a really good fuel source. So on to today's build. This is going to be kind of similar to when I built out the rest of my base over here, in that it's going to be a bunch of really small builds to really bring this whole thing to a close. And I think the one that I want to start with is right over here. I'm going to build some animal pens off the side of the barn over here, and I actually want to move my horse and my donkey over into these new animal pens and kind of free up this space over here. So this is what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to need some cobblestone slabs and some wood slabs because I'm going to be extending this roof out a little bit. And then we're going to need some fences, some fence gates, and some decorations. So first things first, I'm going to remove some of the cobblestone from the roof over here. And I guess actually first thing might be to actually mark out where I want these pins to go. So I think, whoops, those are not fences. So I think I'm just going to follow the pattern of the acacia logs on the barn. And so I'll put 1 pin there, I'll put another one there, and another one there. And this looks like a pretty good size for these. And so let me I'm trying to decide if I want to do 1 fence gate or 2, because 1 fence gate, a horse can't actually get through a single fence gate. You have to have 2 in order for the horse to get in, but a horse can also just jump over the fence gates. So I kind of don't need more than 1. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 just in case. Maybe the ceiling's going to be too low for the horse to get over, and it's just going to look a lot better. Alright, so now we know how big of an area to extend the roof, because I'm not going to extend the entire roof, I'm just going to extend the roof as it covers the pins over here. And because the roof on this side is overhanging by 2 blocks, because we've got that weird little section in the back, I'm going to make this side match. So what I'm going to do is we'll put a block there, we'll remove that one, and I'm going to come out by 2 like that, and then we're going to do that again, and we'll replace that with just a bottom slab. Actually, that may be a top, yeah, that's a top slab, that's a bottom slab. And I think this is good. So it's a much more gentle slope. Hello, there's a campfire right there. It's a much more gentle slope than the rest of the roof, which is good because this needs to be more of a flat roof right here. So we'll just do the same thing on the other side. We'll bring the front of this over to the other corner. And then I'll get up on top here and we'll just fill this whole thing in with oak slabs. Like that. We'll hop down, take a look from the bottom, looking good. Now we need to bring the corners of these pins all the way up to the roof. There we go, that looks really nice. I'm going to leave the back open. I'm not going to do any more fences across the top or the back like I did for the animal pens under my base over there. I liked the way that looked over there. This one I'm going to leave it a little bit more open. And then we'll just throw some hay bales down here for decoration. Oh, I can't put a hay bale there because there's a trapdoor. That's fine, that's fine. And then if I come inside these pins, I'm going to replace some of the dirt in here with coarse dirt like this. And I think I'm also going to just put in some path blocks, just for a little bit more variety. You know, my favorite word. Now I actually want to put a path block right here at the entrance to each pin, but you can't convert the grass block under a gate into a path block. But if you make it a path block and then put a gate on top of it, it stays a path block. So that's a nice little trick. And now to call this build complete, we need to move our horse and our donkey over there. So let me open up a little area here. My horse, I can just ride him over there. That's no big deal. I think I'll use the lead to move the donkey. Come on, donkey. Why aren't you following me? What? Is this lead just completely useless on a donkey? There we go. I need to put some lighting up here. I don't have any lighting on me. I know one of these shulker boxes has some lighting in it. Maybe, yeah, there we go. So we'll throw some lighting in here, just kind of randomly here or there. That's a good spot for it. And don't worry about this little mess here where I got the donkey and the horse through the wall to move them into their new homes. I'm going to do something with this later, so I'm not going to bother repairing it right now. And I think for a few more decorations, we'll also throw a couple bushes along this wall over here. I'll probably do more with this space right here later, but for now, I think I'm happy with the side of this barn. Next up, I want to come over here and I want to build a nice little well. I think this is a good spot for a well. I think it will look good in this field over here. And so here's what we're going to need for that well. And what I'm going to do is we'll just go right here. I'll put down 3 blocks and then a stair. The stair is just to add, you know what I'm going to say, it's going to add some variety. We'll put down some walls in the corners. You could put walls in all 4 corners, but I want this well to look like it's kind of old and weathered. Like I might even come back and replace some of these with some mossy cobblestone. So that's why I'm leaving out a corner. That's why I've got a stair in there. And then we'll throw a bucket of water into the middle. I'm actually going to dig down just a little bit and we'll place the water on top. It will flow down to the bottom, but I want this to look like it's kind of a deep well. And then on the corners, we're going to go up by 2 with some spruce fences like this. This corner is actually going to be 3 because there's going to be a fence all the way down the ground right there. And now that I look at it, I am missing some supplies. I need a couple of spruce trap doors. Let me go get some spruce trap doors. It doesn't matter how much planning I do, I always forget something. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up on top here and I'm going to put a spruce trap door on each corner like this. And then in between all those, whoops, not on top, in between I will do some slabs like that, and then we'll do double slabs in the middle. So it's going to be at the top of our well. Now below all of this, in the middle of the well, to make it look a little bit more like a well, I'm going to put in a grindstone upside down like that with a chain hanging down from it like so. And doesn't that just look like some sort of pulley with a chain that goes down into the well? And then to finish this thing off, I'm going to come around to the side here and actually need one more slab on top. So I'm going to make one of these side slabs to a double slab like that. I'm going to put a lever right there. We'll close those trap doors when we flick it on. On the bottom of that, we'll put an iron bar, and below that, we will put a spruce fence. So that just kind of looks like a crank or a pulley. Yeah, I guess a crank, because that's the pulley, that's the crank. And so, you know, you would turn this thing, and the pulley would go up and down to raise and lowers the bucket in the well. So that's a nice little fun well we've got going there. Now to finish off the well, I'm going to do something similar to what I did with the animal pens over here. We'll replace some of the grass. But this time I'm going to throw in some potsoil, some coarse dirt, and I've also got a little bit of rooted dirt. I think I bought this from a wandering trader at some point, and I haven't actually used it anywhere yet. So this seems like a good place to throw it in. And then of course we'll also turn some of these into path blocks like this. And there we go, we've got ourselves a nice little well. I might come back later and throw in some bushes or some flowers around it because it's very flat around the well right now. Now you can tell I've got a shulker box right here because I've got something else planned for this area, but I'm going to hold off on that until I get the wall put in, so let me work on that next. So I want there to be a nice wall just like the wall of our base over here that goes all the way around our farm, around this whole agriculture district. So as you can imagine, this is going to take lots and lots of well, I guess not that much cobblestone, more leaves and fences. I probably need a lot more fences than I have. So I want this thing to be connected to my main base, which is why I haven't replaced these yet. I'm actually just going to break these down. I'm going to remove this whole wall right here. I say the whole wall, this section of the wall. And I'm going to also remove these animal pens, and I'm going to remove this duck. We're just going to open up this side of the base to the rest of the farm. And then I guess I'll also remove these and that, because what I want to do is turn this wall right here and have it start coming out this way. Now, unlike the wall that I did around my base, I don't really have anything planned to put against the wall. Like over here I had a crop field planned, and I had some sugar cane over there, and I've got some like a chicken coop and melon patch, and so I wanted each of the concrete, the cobblestone columns of the wall to define those areas. I don't have anything like that planned for this wall, so I'm just going to go out. I will replace that torch. I'm just going to go kind of 5 blocks for each section. And I won't be able to carry that pattern all the way around consistently, because there's going to be some places like right here where I want the wall to stop right here. I want there to be an opening to the barn right there. So this section is actually going to be a little bit smaller. Do something like that. So it's just going to be 3 there, 3 there, and then 5 over here. That's fine. We'll do an opening right here. I'll come back and I'll start with some fences right there. And then I've got some fence gates that I will throw in the middle like that. And because this is the entrance, I'm actually going to go up by 3 on each side like that. In part because it's the entrance, and also because there's an elevation change right here. And the wall is going to continue on this side. And I want the cobblestone to always be 1 block taller than the oak leaves that define the wall around it. So anytime I have an elevation change like that, there will always be the cobblestone pillar right at the edge of the elevation change, and it will go up 1 row above the ground on the higher side. Hopefully that made sense. So around on this side of the barn, I want the wall to come out to about right here. And so the corner will be right here. So there's going to be a really small section up there. And then we'll turn, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in some of this with grass like that, just so it's not such a small hill. I didn't want to remove that hill. I want to try to keep as much of the normal landscape as possible. I say as I go adding in a bunch of new grass all over the place. And then on this side I can just go do 5 block sections all the way over to the other corner. Alright, this thing is looking good so far. Now we're going to turn and go back behind the barn. So this is probably going to be the longest straight section of fence, wall, because I could turn it like right around here and kind of go in and then keep going, but I want the well to be well inside the fence, pardon the pun. And so I don't really want to move the wall any closer to the well, so we'll just keep on going over like this. And I am going to go ahead and turn the fence here shortly. It's just going to be after the well, which means we need to fill in this area down here. So before I turn the corner over here and start heading back to the base, I'm actually going to come work on this side, because I know where I want the wall to come out on this side. I want it to come right over to this column right here. Oh, there's my yellow bed. I was looking for my yellow bed. I took this thing from the barn, I guess when I was working on the beacons on the last episode, and I went into the barn to sleep and there was no bed, and I'm like, where'd my bed go? So yeah, I want the wall to stop right here on this side, because this is where I've got my amethyst mine. I don't want the mine to be inside of this wall, and so this is a good spot for it to come out. So right here we'll start coming out from the base, and I'm actually going to do an entrance on this side right here. So I'll throw a little fence gate in there, and this way we have kind of a back entrance on this side of the farm. Now for the flowers. The flowers, I'm gonna have to pull all these up and replace them, move them somewhere else, because this is all gonna be part of the farm now. So I think right here is where I will turn and come back inside. And it's a small turn, I guess. I could just keep going and just make this thing a big box, but I think having a little bit of kind of a different shape to this will make it look a little bit nicer. And then I think the last touch on the wall here is I'm just going to go around and put torches on each little cobblestone column to light this thing up. All right, and with the wall complete, we are moving right along. We've only got a few more things to do. So, like I said, I had something else planned for over here, and what I want to put here are some kind of planters or plant boxes where stuff is growing. And so I'm going to build this thing out of spruce planks and stairs and fences, and I'm also going to use some end rods as part of the build, which will make sense once I get the build put together. And then I'm going to be putting in a lot of flower pots. Some of them will have actual flowers in them, and some of them will have some dark oak and some jungle saplings. And when this whole thing gets put together, I think it's going to look really, really nice. What in the world is going on over here? You dumb wandering trader with your llamas. Yeah, so look, rooted dirt. I might actually go ahead and buy some more of that since he's selling it. Yeah, because rooted dirt's kind of hard to come by. If I remember correctly, you have to grow an azalea tree, and then the dirt right below it will be rooted dirt, but since I don't have any azaleas, then I don't really have a good natural way to come by rooted dirt. I think the only way I can get it right now is from these wandering traders. So I'll go ahead and buy all that. I might as well go ahead and buy a couple sea pickles because I actually plan on using some of these in today's build, and then we'll just get rid of you. So like I was saying, we're going to put some planters in here, and I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th row out in front of the stables. You could just use planks for this. I have slabs, so I'm going to do double slabs, and I'm going to go out 9 blocks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when I say 9, I of course mean 11, because I want there to be 9 blocks on the inside, and we're going to be putting fences on the outside like this. Now we're going to have to do some temporary blocks here, so I'm going to put a block there, remove this one, and the reason for that is I want an upside down stair right there. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We'll do temporary block, and upside down stair. And then I'm going to do top slabs connecting those upside down stairs going all the way across. Now if we get up on top here, we're going to do almost the same thing. We're going to go up with 2 fences like this. Did I already run out of fences? I did. I did not bring enough fences. So like I said, we're going to go up 1 more fence. That is absolutely what I said, not 2. And then like we did on the bottom, we need to put a temporary block there, a temporary block behind it, and then an upside down stair. And we'll do the same thing on this side as well. And now bear with me for just a second. We're going to put a double plank or a double slab on top of that. And then not on the stair, but above the stair, we're going to do bottom slabs going all the way across. Same thing on this side, double slab with bottom slabs going across. The reason that we're doing it like on the block above the stair instead of on the stair is because I'm going to do some end rods that go all the way across like this. So I think the end rods kind of look like some artificial lighting that we're going to use to, you know, kind of help these plants grow. It doesn't actually affect the growth of the plants, but it's meant to look like we've got a little plant nursery going on in here. And so I think that the end rods kind of help add to that illusion. We're now going to come in and put some pots on both the bottom and top rows. And on the top is where I want to put the saplings. On this side, I'm going to do dark oak saplings across the top. I guess I can do this from the ground. And then on the bottom row, we'll do flowers. And you can mix this up, do whatever you want. You could do saplings top and bottom. You could do flowers everywhere. You could do alternating flowers of the same kind. I just think it's going to look really cool to have some flowers on the bottom and saplings on top. So there is one plant box. I'm going to build a second one that is exactly like it right over here. And I think I'll leave a gap of 3 blocks in between them. Let's see where that would put the second one. So that would bring it out to right here. That I think is perfect. I'm very happy with that. So I am going to have to move my campfire. That's okay. I just set this thing up while I was building my tree because it kind of looked nice and added to the environment, I think. And And there we go, our 2 plant boxes put in. I think this is a really good way to add more kind of aesthetics, more decorations to your build without going crazy. You know, just a couple of slabs, a couple of stairs, a couple of plants here and there, and adds a whole lot of life and color, but also acts as a really good divider between the barn and what's going to be over here. And then on this side is where we're going to end up putting our wheat field. And so our wheat field is really kind of the last part of this whole build over here. Now to get started, I need to make myself an infinite water source, because in order for this wheat field to remain a field and not revert back into dirt, we're going to need to put in lots and lots of water sources in here. Now I actually like to just randomly place my water sources. I don't try to count out and maximize the efficiency of every 5 or 10 blocks or whatever. I just like them to be kind of random, while still covering enough area that all of the field blocks that we're going to put in here will remain fields and not revert back into dirt. You know what I could do as well? I could actually sneak some water sources under the tree here, and that should irrigate all the grass around it. And now that I say that, I don't know that I'm actually going to put any wheat within 5 blocks of that water source. Maybe I'll do that down here. So I think that should do it. These look like they're pretty evenly spaced out. I might have a little bit of trouble up in this area closer to the tree, and so maybe I'll go ahead and put a water source under the melon right here. And then I think that should be good. Now before I start putting field in, I want to make a couple of path blocks over here, because I am going to have like a path that comes into the base from this side. I'm going to go ahead and replace that fence gate so I can put a path block below it. So we'll just do something like that, and then we'll put the fields in around it. Now before I put the fields in, I need to cover up all these water sources, because having exposed water sources in your farm, A, it doesn't look good, and B, you're just asking to fall down into one of those, and then you jump out and you land on the field block next to it and it reverts back to dirt, and it's just not really worth it. So it's always a good idea, in my opinion, to cover your water sources in crop fields. I also need to tear this up. I put down some honey blocks under some moss carpet because I would constantly jump from the top and land down here, and I was tired of taking, it's minuscule, but I was tired of taking fall damage from it. And so the honey blocks would absorb your fall damage and you wouldn't take any damage. I think I put those in before I had my elytra, because now that I've got my elytra I can just glide down and it's not a problem. I also want to do some path blocks over on this side. I'm going to do a path that leads over to the front of the barn. I'm not going to fill it all in right now, but I want it to kind of meet up with the path that comes from my base over here. So let me just go ahead and mark that off, and so the fields will all be on the other side of the path right here. I said I'm not going to fill this whole thing in, but just having a partial path like that was actually kind of bothering me. Alright, now let's have some fun planting seeds, or as much fun as you can have planting seeds. So I used my hoe and converted all of this grass and dirt into farm blocks. There were a couple of places, like against this back wall, that started to turn back into dirt, so I had to put a water source. I kind of snuck one in under the cobblestone there. And then I think there was, over by the well, it was also starting to turn back into dirt. So I just snuck a water source like right here under the cobblestone right there. So everything should be fully irrigated now. I am going to leave the dirt, the grass around the well and immediately around the tree. I'm not going to put any grass or seeds, any wheat right there. And all of our seeds are planted. I'm probably going to come back at some point and put some slabs to kind of step down from here, because I think just dropping down from one block, there is still a small chance that you could turn this back into dirt. Same thing over here by my well. I'll probably end up putting some half slabs over here to create an easier step up and down. But I am really looking forward to how this is going to look when all this is grown and this whole area is just full of life. So one last thing before we call this done is we need to put some decorations in here. So first off, I'm going to come up to my house And I'm going to dye some of this leather armor. You can dye leather armor in a cauldron with water. Just add the dye to the cauldron. You now have blue dye in this case because I put in blue. And I'm going to dye my leather pants blue. And I actually want this to go back to just regular water, because if I just add white, it's just going to mix the white and the blue, which is not what I want. So I'm just going to use a bucket of water on the cauldron. It goes back to water. We'll do white dye. I'm going to dye the leather tunic white. And yeah, I'm not going to dye the boots. I want those to stay brown. So now I'm going to come out to one of the water sources that I covered with, with slabs. And I'm going to put down, I'll do this one. Yeah, we'll do this one. I'm going to put down an armor stand, and we'll throw this leather armor on there along with a jack-o'-lantern head. Oh, he can't have a jack-o'-lantern head. That's really disappointing. Okay, we'll just do a normal carved pumpkin head then. We can put that on the head. And then I'm going to crouch and change this guy's pose like that. And what should we give him to hold? How about some wheat? Sure, why not? Let's do another scarecrow over here somewhere. Let's put this guy, we'll put him on this one right here. Now this one, I actually got the idea for this from the new loading screen that they added for October with all these sort of Halloween type decorations on it. So we're gonna do a hay bale on top of fence posts. We'll do fence posts on the sides, and then I am so sorry farmland, I'm going to jump and put a jack-o'-lantern on top, and then we'll just put those seeds back in the ground. So yeah, another nice little scarecrow. I might come back and replace this with spruce because the oak is just kind of blending in with the fences behind it. But I like how that looks. Now on all the other water sources, I think I'm just going to put down a lantern for lighting. I think these things are spread out such that as long as each one has a light source on it, it should do a good enough job lighting up this area to prevent spawns. May need to put something over here because our scarecrow wasn't able to have a jack-o'-lantern on his head for the light source. So maybe we'll just put a torch over here. And then I'm also going to come through and throw in a couple more jack-o'-lanterns here or there for lighting, because we want this, since this is technically now inside of our base, I definitely want to block spawns from ever spawning within here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this area between the planters and the barn on this side of the animal pens. I didn't really come up with anything for this area yet, and so if you guys have any good ideas of what I could put in here, I would love to hear them. I also need something to do with the back side over here. I haven't done anything back here, and so I need something to do back here. Maybe for now, I think I'm just going to throw in some torches to light the area up, and I might come back and throw in like some bushes and melons and jack-o'-lanterns. Basically just put bushes back here. I don't know. I always put my jack-o'-lanterns down so that the face is facing some surface. That way I get the light of the jack-o'-lantern without having to see the face, because I don't like the faces of jack-o'-lanterns in Minecraft. And with that, I think, whoa, okay, I did, I almost dropped down onto the fields. With that, I think we are done. Check this thing out, you guys. Wow, this is such a big difference just from before this episode. So much more life and color and beauty in this area. It looks really, really good. And that is going to wrap things up for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate all the comments, the encouragement, the good ideas that people have. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. And while you're down there, feel free to subscribe so you'll get notified of future episodes as they come out. Thanks y'all, and have a great day.